Hello everyone, and welcome back for another Miss Ink Stamps video. I'm Cassie. Today we're going to be making a very fun background, but let's talk about what we're using first. I have the brand new Robot Life stamp with some really cute sentiments and that darling robot. We also have the Postage die. I really like this die. It makes some really wonderful backgrounds with it. And then we also have the Need Input stencil. To make our background, we will be using some mixed media paper, and I'm going to combine that with some Distress embossing powders. Those are embossing glazes. And these papers measure 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, so that's really the full front of an A2 size card. I'm going to bring in that Need Input stencil, and I started tacking it down, but then I realized because I want to use embossing glazes or embossing powders, I am going to need to use an anti-static powder tool just to make sure I don't get any powder where I don't want it, which really in the end with this type of background, it really isn't going to matter if I have some powder or some embossing powder where I don't want it. I'm using a tiny blending tool and some embossing ink, and I'm just kind of pouncing that through the stencil. I'm not doing the best job, and there's a reason for that. I don't need it to be everywhere. I don't want it to be everywhere. And I'm really trying hard not to get that ink to really squish underneath the stencil. Sometimes with those embossing inks, they can. And so it's hard to tell where I've put my ink, but we'll see here. I'm using my fingers to pinch out some of this embossing glaze. And that one is the pumice stone. And then I think that was the hickory smoke. This one's the pumice stone. And I kind of screwed up here. I just started pouring that, and I shouldn't have done that because then you have all this powder that you've either got to put into a separate jar or throw away. In all reality, I'm going to be honest with you, I just stuck it right back in my jar because I didn't have too much of that hickory smoke underneath, and yeah, I just didn't want to waste it. I probably should have done something else with it, but here we are. And I'm going to hit this with my heat tool. As you can see, that isn't perfectly stenciled. And again, don't really care if it is or not. I just want that to sort of be on there. And as you can see, I did bring in a Teflon mat, and I did put some ink down on it. Now that ink is actually weathered wood, which is supposed to be more of a blue, but I find it to be a little bit of a blue-gray. And so I've pounced my paper onto that, and I'm going to heat set it in between. You'll see there's dots of that ink still on there, and this is what's going to give us our very textured, really beautiful background. I love making backgrounds like this just because of the texture, and I'm kind of on a kick. It's funny how I go back and forth and doing different things, but I'm really back on wanting to do backgrounds like this. So love it. Love how that turned out. I'm going to set that off to the side to dry, but wow, that looks so good together. And then to see the shininess of the stencil background, which just makes me happy. So I've brought in my Mini Misty, and I'm bringing in that Robot Life stamp. I've got some Express It cardstock in my Mini Misty, and then we're going to ink up our little robot with some blackout ink because I am going to do some alcohol marker coloring. So I'm going to stamp him down a couple times. Just want to make sure that he's stamped well. He's so cute. Kind of reminds me of an 80s robot. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to go ahead and color him up with my Olo markers. And I brought in, believe it or not, some oranges. Well, at least that's what the O stands for on this marker. It's a O 7.3, so it's a very subtle, like dark orange. Looks almost gray. And the reason I chose that is because I brought in my background and just put it up to my swatches. This is why swatches are so important, just because you get a better feel of what it's actually going to look like on the cardstock that you use if you swatch everything out. And then you can compare it to maybe other colors that you have that are different products, and then you can mix and match your different products together. So I'm using that O 7.3 all over the robot. And then we are going to bring in an O 7.7 just for some darker areas. And as you can tell, I did this earlier. I sped my video up 2 times, so clearly don't color this fast. Wouldn't that be nice? I'd get a lot more done if I did. But I'm just putting some little dots of that color, putting a little bit of shadowing and shading where I think it might look good. And then we'll blend that out with our O 7.3 when the time comes. What I have noticed with my Olo markers is that sometimes it will spit ink out of the tip if I don't press down. It's like that ink is so eager to get out. And if you have Olos, you've probably experienced that as well. I just try to pay attention to the tip of my marker, and when it gets uber shiny, then I realize sometimes that ink is about ready to spit out. So I don't do it in this video, but on occasion when I see that happening, I will just blot the tip of my pen onto just like a rag or something, so it'll kind of soak up just a little bit of that ink so that I don't have mistakes. But if you do have mistakes, they're fairly easy to fix. I know it can be frustrating, so because I've had it happen a few times. All right, so now we're moving on to doing a little bit more with that 07.7, and for his little motherboard or whatever you want to call it on his chest and on his lower portion, I'm going to use some red, some blue. For his eyes, I did use a yellow, but that'll add just a tiny bit of color to it. And I'm going to play off of that red because we're going to work on our background here, or another portion here in a second, not the background. All right, there is a matching die to go along with this Robot Life. I don't have it, so I'm just going to fussy cut, which I don't mind too much. And if you have the right scissors, it's pretty simple to do. I just tend to hold my scissors fairly straight while I'm cutting, and it's me moving the image more than moving the scissors. I just find that that's easier, depending on, you know, if you're right or left-handed. Obviously, you're going to move it more with, since I'm right-handed, I'm cutting with my right, moving with my left, and vice versa. If you are left-handed, you would hold the scissors with your left and move with your right. But he's pretty simple to cut around, and you wouldn't have to do as intricate as I am if you don't want to. He's such a fun image, though. Really cute. And I feel like he'd be really great for some of those masculine cards as well. So now, on occasion, I will just work on making backgrounds. This is just some watercolor paper that I use Distress ink sprays. Can't remember which ones, but I use some reds and some pinks. I tend to bring these along if I'm traveling and just need to have some quick backgrounds, or use it for elements like I did here. I used the Postage die, and I die cut out this piece that looks like postage, but it's rectangular, which is great. And because my paper is a little bit warped, now typically I would use just some liquid glue, and I still could on this one, but my paper's a little bit warped because of the water, and even though that's not a big deal, I did decide to use some rip and stick tape. So I'm just going to peel off all that rip and stick. This is my card base, so it measured 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and I scored it at 4.25, and so it is the base. It's a full card base, and I'm just going to stick this inside of my mini Misty now that I've peeled off all of that release paper, and just making sure that's right down to the corner. You don't obviously need your magnets because we're going to use this to our advantage, trying to go from the corner so that I can make sure and get this piece on there very straight. I've just found that's just a little tip to share, because it does make me nervous, and I tend not to get things on there very straight when I use a double-sided adhesive. This is why I usually just use liquid glue, because it gives me some wiggle room. But in this case, like I said, the paper was a little warped, so I wanted to make sure it was on there. Now for this Postage die piece that I cut out, I'm going to use some foam tape on it. This is a thinner foam tape that I have, and I don't believe this company is in business anymore, so can't get this anymore. But any double-sided foam adhesive would probably work that's thin. So I'll peel off the release paper, and then we're going to stick this down, but I kind of want it to be off-center. I don't want it to be perfectly straight, and which is perfect if you're the type of person who can't get things straight all the time. It's always fun to kind of put things a little off-center. And then we are going to put some tape behind our little robot. I'll call him Johnny. And then, yeah, so we'll cover him with the back of him with some foam tape. I did avoid his little hand there that's going to cross over onto the Postage die. We'll use some liquid glue on that here in a second, but we're going to die cut or use our guillotine trimmer to trim down our sentiment. Just making it rectangular. We're not going to do anything crazy. You could fussy cut around it if you wanted, but I'm choosing not to do that. And then we bring in our liquid glue to adhere down his hand and to adhere down our sentiment, just, sticking to the center. And I choose not to put any embellishments on it. We're going to leave it as it is, keep it fairly masculine, but I love how this card turned out, and that background is divine. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And huge thanks for sticking around and watching my videos and subscribing and all the things. I really appreciate you all, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye, everybody.